Peace, prosperity, and abundance. Peace, prosperity, and abundance. What's up, Earth Goddess gang? Y'all know what time it is. And if you are new, welcome. Grab a snack, grab a drink, grab whatever you need, and make sure you get comfortable. Okay, family. What I wanted to talk about today, we're not going to talk about astrology. I just kind of want to just talk about, protecting your energy, because it's a lot of stuff going on. Just y'all know what's going on. There's a lot of shit going on. So, it's so much out here to distract you and take your attention and things like that. So on this video, I just want to talk to y'all a little bit about, not being really, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm on my phone at the same time checking some messages. I'm finna get off soon because I'm not finna do this during the whole video. Like back to what I was saying, that there's a lot of crazy stuff going on out here, and if you are not careful, your energy, you be usurped left and right. So it's important that you are not so invested in things that are going on the outside. Now, this is my disclaimer. This is not to be oblivious to what's going on in the world around us, but to actually instead, see it for what it is, but don't allow it to take up your attention, your time, mess with your energetic levels. You don't want to be swayed, every time you look at the news or pick up your phone, or you basically take a part of any social media. You don't want your energy being just swayed every time. You have to control that. These things are put out for a certain reason. It's a reason why they put out only negative news. It's a reason why you only hear certain things. It's the only reason why you only hear a certain type of news on certain stations. So you just have to be mindful of this. It's not saying being oblivious and don't know what's going on around you, because you want to be prepared in case you do have to make any steps. So things I like to do, when there is just chaos around or just anything, I just do it on a daily. So my time and my energy is not usurped. I control my time and energy. So the first thing you want to do, and y'all, I did go to the dollar store and pick up a cute dry erase board, and it was $1. So I wrote this out. It's like a 3-step plan. It's like reflect, plan, and action. So basically what that will look like. So say, you're stressed out about possibly the second wave of the pandemic. You don't know what to do. Every time you turn on the news, you're hearing this. Every time you get on social media, you're hearing that. Cut out all the outside noise. At this time, y'all already know, what's going on, what you're going to do. So the best thing you can do is prepare yourself internally. So the first thing I like to do is reflect. And when you reflect, that can look anything like, meditation. You could do meditation. You can do meditation while you're out in nature. You can do meditation while you're at the beach. Just find ways to sit with your mind. Even if you don't have, time to maybe go sit out in nature or go to the beach, make sure right in the morning, say while you're brushing your teeth, putting on your clothes, or right before you get out of bed. Just make sure you find time to reflect. However that look, whether that's meditation, sit out in nature, going to the beach. Then once you are able to sit with your mind, then you're able to hear your thoughts and be an observer of your thoughts. Then you have to ask yourself a few questions. What is your thought process when you are observing your thoughts? What is your thought process like? Is it negative? Is it positive? Are you stuck in the past? Are you stuck in the future? And once you're able to pinpoint what your thought processes looks like, how can you improve upon this thought process? Then you jump into your next one, boom, which is planning. Now, planning, can look anything like First, we're going to start off where you currently are. Where you currently are, then you can go and move on to the steps you would take to get yourself from that place. So look at where you are and the steps you would take to get yourself from where you are if you are not happy with the current position. Then not only do you make the steps, but you also make the time. You make the time and you find the time to implement these steps once you put a plan into action. Then once you do that, you're going to go ahead and not only make that time, but you're going to commit to that time. So whatever time you set out, to where you're going to do this self-healing internal work, make sure you stick to that time, whether that's early in the morning before you go to work, after work, however that works for you on your days off. Whatever is convenient, make sure you commit to whatever time frame you put for your internal work. So after you are past the reflecting and the planning stage, and you want to go ahead and jump into action, because you know why? Planning and all this stuff without action is dead. Like they say, faith without works is dead. So you don't want to do all this reflecting and planning and don't put any of it into action. So how putting things into action will look like is putting the plans in actual motion. So now that you have a plan, you say, okay, I'm going to get up 4 o'clock every morning. I'm going to meditate for 30 minutes. That's your plan of action. Making sure you setting that time, and say that commitment is making sure you're getting up 4 in the morning and basically meditating. So 4 a.m. meditation. Okay. Also, too, what action will look like is making sure that you are completing or reaching small goals. So make sure you complete small goals or tasks. So make sure you complete small goals or tasks. I know that mine look like chicken scratch, but y'all get what I'm saying. You complete small goals or tasks. So basically that gives you confidence to go to the bigger goal or task. So make sure that if you do make a promise to yourself and say, okay, I'm going to get up at 4 in the morning and I'm going to exercise. Okay, so now that you've did that for a week straight, you can go ahead and celebrate. I committed to getting up at 4 in the morning for a week straight, and I'm going to go ahead and commit to a month. But each time you hit that milestone, make sure you celebrate and get yourself on a pat. Give yourself a pat on the back so that you have that confidence to move forward and reach those bigger goals. And the next one is celebrate. Celebrate small and big victories. Celebrate small and big victories, because when you acknowledge things that you have done for yourself and you feel good about them, it gives you the confidence to continue with more self-love and self-healing, and you're able to fix and heal more areas of your life when you feel good about the things that you've accomplished. So I was not going to make this video too long, family, but I did want to get on here and just talk to you all a little bit about just not allowing so much of your time and energy to be usurped from these outside sources. And it's not to say that we'll turn a blind eye to what's going on, because it's always too good to be aware and on top of things that are going on within this world, because we're still a part of this world, even though we are infinite beings. So just make sure you are not getting caught up in, the fear mongering. Actually pay attention to the things that are being fed to you, and actually control what is being fed to you. Just because you have access to Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, social media, all the news outlets, it doesn't mean that you always have to give your attention to these outlets. Start replacing every time, and say if you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is pull out your phone. Instead of pulling out your phone, make sure you get up and start saying affirmations, or you make sure you get up and start stretching or doing yoga or anything, to grab your mindset before the world does. That's the most important key thing, is grabbing your mind before the world does. Because when you grab your mind, you're able to better prepare for the things that may come to you in your day, versus you just jumping straight out of the bed, running to get dressed, getting the kids up, everybody's rushing and the disarray, emotions all over the place, then you basically run to work and your day probably is shot to hell because of the type of morning you've had. You've really haven't had the time to, have yourself listen to your inner thoughts and emotions and how you're feeling. So it's important, that we follow these steps, which is to reflect, plan, and action, because it's going to lead us into bigger and better things. Thank you so much for sitting through another upload with me, family. Make sure you hit up Earth Goddess Candles for your home-based candle needs, and I will see you all in the next upload.